Okay, for what it's worth, these are the cutter head bearings. They are 50 millimeter bores and they're 110 millimeters outside diameter, and they're 1 3/4 inches thick, so they're 44.45 millimeters thick, which is exactly 1.75 inches. Both of them have rust damage. There's pitting on both of them from the bearing housing getting water in it. I've cleaned up both of them with a wire brush and scraping. This one I've cleaned up some more with emery cloth using paint thinner as a lubricant to clean it up. Both of them have signs of abuse and being hammered on a little bit. There's some little hammer marks and other little dents. So I don't know if they've been replaced previously or not. These are very similar to the bearings that were on the J180 with this removable seal, so they could be opened up and serviced. So I don't know if they're replaced or refurbished. For purposes of testing the motor, I'm going to go ahead and open these and refurbish them, re-grease them. If I end up restoring the whole machine and not scrapping it, I'll get new bearings. It looks like I can get some new Timken versions of these bearings for about 110 bucks each. Before I start refurbishing the bearings, I thought I'd take a few measurements with a dial indicator. With the bearing restrained, I'm really not getting any movement. I push back the bearing this way and then push forward on the bearing this way. There's really not a whole lot of movement. So this is where I'm getting a lot of movement. So that's 15, 16 thousandths. Anyway, I don't know if that's good or not. It's probably not good. But I'm going to go ahead and refurbish these bearings and use them for testing the motor. Let's go ahead and open it up. This is the reed valve from an air conditioning compressor from a car that I disassembled. And it's got just the right stiffness and thickness to get underneath that rubber seal and ease it out. So underneath that rubber seal there's more rust. That grease is pretty caked up, old. And there's rust, or yeah, it looks like there's rust inside that bearing race. So even the bearing cage is rusted down in there. What a mess. Well, I wiped the bearings out as best I could with a rag and then soaked them in here. This is after just one bearing. So I've been curious about the wear on those bearings. So I've got this magnet here, and there's a lot of particulate that came out of the bearing. Some of that may be rust, but some of it may also be bearing wear. Well, that's after 2 baths. I've given the bearings their 3rd and final bath. But look at this residue. This is just from one bearing after 3 baths. There's still metal particulates. Well, the bearings are still pretty noisy, but at least they've got some fresh grease on them, and they'll be good enough for a motor test. So I'm going to go offline and do some cleaning up of all the components that make up the motor assembly, including the motor base and the bell and the bearing housings. When we come back, we'll assemble all that and try giving the motor a run-up and make sure that it works. Thanks again for joining us for Yates American B244.